All right, we're starting. Check. Recording.
Check.
Hello and welcome to Patriot Radio. This is the show for patriots, and I just want to say that Mr. Rogers is a fucking pussy. Do not let Mr. Rogers dominate your kids. Do not let him indoctrinate your kids. That's not how you get ahead in life. You get ahead from taking what you want and not being a fucking sweater wearing cuck like Mr. Rogers. Also, guys, do not get the COVID vaccine. It has a lot of things in it, and make sure you don't get it. Well, R.I.P. to that guy. He's dead. The host of Patriot Radio, who said that Mr. Rogers was a fucking pussy. He's dead. But you know who's here? Mike and Deb are here. It's nice to be here. Well, thanks for joining us on this lovely Wednesday evening.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you're here, too. We were talking about that today, the famous Trump and Elizabeth Warren, when she put out a video that said, I'm glad you're here with her husband. And Trump was like, he lives there. Yeah.
Definitely the funniest president.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just want to say, so we're practicing with the camera. Because we're gonna get big on YouTube. I'm a 34-year-old man. I'm gonna get big on YouTube. If you really, it's just if there's anybody out there, if there's anyone who's listening to the show who's in their mid-30s and who's like, yeah. I've always wanted to have my own show, you know. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to have my own podcast or to do stand-up. I don't know. I might have to warn you against doing that. I might have to say maybe that's not a good idea. I might have to say maybe you should try to find some happiness in some other area of your life.
I'm
not complaining.
Happiness in comedy?
No, absolutely not. Mm-hmm. I love my family. I love my wife. I never would have met you if I hadn't done comedy. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot of it's.
Well, who knows? You could have moved me.
Yeah, I guess I could have moved.
You could have waited on me.
No, but I never would have been. If it wasn't for comedy, I never would have been a mover. So really, actually, if it wasn't for comedy, I never would have found a very lucrative way to make money.
There you go.
That destroys your body, where I'm gonna have to literally be taken to a barn and shot like a horse at the end of my life, at the end of my moving career. I get so tired after moving jobs right now. You have no idea. I feel like I can't. Easy jobs, not very hard. I feel like I sweat more than I ever did, and I just, I helped my friend Danny the other day. All we really did was we took his couch out of a third-floor walk-up, brought it into a second-floor walk-up, so
yeah.
2 flights down.
I'm so glad I have an elevator.
Yeah, but see, that's not like a hard job, you know. You go, all right, one couch, here we go.
Right.
But So we brought the couch upstairs, and I was like, I'll put the legs on. So I screwed the legs onto the couch, and after that last leg was on, I was like, I am so fucking tired.
You were on your last leg?
Yes. I have I have almost no value as a human being at this point. I'm just an old mover. I'm just an old mover, and a lot of the companies that I've worked for. Now, the company that I used to work for was like a sort of like a cool moving company, like an artist,
Yeah.
That like employs artists. But even all of those guys are all getting old too. Mm-hmm. Whenever you would work for like bigger moving,
your new company can be called Aging Movers.
Aging Movers, yeah. We might be slow, but we're wise. Listen, we might not be the fastest crew in the city, but I've been divorced twice. I can tell you a few things. You know what, sweetheart? Oh, this is your first. Oh, you're moving in together with your boyfriend. This is your first time. Let me tell you something. You're probably gonna end up divorced. I can see it in you. I can see from the way she's talking to you, the way she undermines you a little bit.
You have moved people.
You might end up getting divorced
in different times in their lives, right?
Usually it's like a happy time. Like usually it's like a couple who's, it's like a girl who recently discovered she was a lesbian and she's like moving in, to cohabitate. into a place in Crown Heights where they kicked the Jamaican family out of. They just evicted a Jamaican family, and then her and her non-binary fiance can cohabitate together. It's usually a lot of those. It's usually a lot of couples moving in together, starting.
But then have you done like?
I've never lived with a girlfriend before.
Couple moving in together, and then.
Have I done any breakups?
They break up. Same couple. Like, have you seen anyone?
No, I've never seen that.
Okay.
I think they hired different people for that. I think they would hire somebody else. But whenever something is kind of like messy or ugly, it's not really clear. Although one time, I'll tell you a story. One time, it was my early days of moving, and I was like moving this guy, and the move was within Jersey. Yeah. So he's moving from like Clifton, New Jersey, to like let's say Belleville, like Clifton to like Nutley or something like that. Okay. And so he's like he's like an old, not older, but probably like in his 40s, like blue collar type guy. And he's like, his ex-wife was there. And it's like, I've been with her 20 years, it's like half my life, and now it's over. I think we moved him into like an attic apartment somewhere in Jersey. But it wasn't like super sad or anything. Yeah. And then after the move, I backed into his car.
Oh God.
We were like waving. He was like waving goodbye, and then I just I hit his car.
Why didn't he? Was he waving goodbye, or
he was waving
like,
goodbye? He was like, stop, boom. Yeah. So so that happened. So I'm just a little depressed about I'm a little depressed about just like.
Didn't you also move somebody who got kicked out for molesting their roommate's dog?
That was Steve O'Brien. Yeah. Can we talk about this? I guess we can. Why can't we talk about it? Yeah. You are not, I'll tell you what, you're not very good, Deborah, at like setting up
sorry.
A story. You go, didn't the girl fuck a dog? And then you're like, yeah, all right, well, I guess we have to visit that. I had a whole show planned over here, but let's talk about the girl who fucked the dog.
I said molested. But
yeah,
okay.
I don't even think there's a word for what she did to this dog.
Oh, God.
I don't even think there's like a word in the dictionary to describe what happened to this dog. But the dog, oh my God. Didn't you move a girl who molested her roommate's dog?
It was in the news, though, so you are allowed to talk about it.
It was in the news. Yeah, it was in the news. A girl in Brooklyn. Basically, what? Long story short, this girl's roommate caught her roommate on the nanny cam making. I really don't know how to find the right words to describe this, but she made on the nanny. She caught her roommate making the dog perform oral sex on her. And they moved her. And when they moved her out, there had to be like a police escort. And they had to get the money up front. And they were like, yeah, she was a fine client. She tipped nice. But there was a police escort for the move. Mm-hmm. And, Steve O'Brien texted me about that. He was like, I'm not joking. This girl was having sex with her roommate's dog. Now, I don't know if, like, that's not really, I don't think that's, like, a sexual perversion when you're doing that. I think that's more, like, a mental illness.
Or, like I don't know, you just want to know what it feels like?
Yeah. And also, you can't make a dog lick your pussy.
Well,
you
if
have
you put
to, like,
peanut butter in it.
Right, but I don't even know if that's like
it's probably
molesting.
Gonna give you a yeast infection.
Yeah, it probably will. But I think that a dog just eats your pussy. You can't force it to do that. Yeah.
I mean, our dogs.
It's not like you're in jail with the dog. You're like, eat my pussy, and I'll give you 20 cigarettes. You know.
Our dogs like to lick your underwear. So.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're disgusting. They're nasty, nasty boys. Yeah. Anyway, what's on the docket today? We're back, and I was like, oh, we're going to come back. We're going to come back really strong, and we're going to have a lot of, like, high-profile guests, and I don't know. It's really hard, and Deb's here. Mm-hmm. It really is hard to book.
Faithful.
it's hard to book a podcast and and find, because the process of making a podcast is you think about it 2 days before you're thinking about it. Let's say the show's on Tuesday. Saturday, you book the show. I got my guest. Okay, cool. Got my guest. We're good for Tuesday when we're going to record. Then Tuesday happens. You record. You edit it. You post it. And then you go, all right.
All over
Take
again?
a little breather.
Yeah.
But then before you know it, you got to book another guest. And then you don't have anybody, and you feel like such an idiot being like, can you come? Can you do the show tomorrow?
Yeah.
So you just ask your wife.
Hi.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome.
Thanks for being here.
Anytime. I live here.
You're really saving the show.
Yeah. Even though I tell stories bad.
Huh?
Even though I'm not good at telling stories.
I don't think you're bad at telling stories. There's like a hack comedian thing where like people go like, "Oh, my wife can't tell a story."
Yeah.
I don't think you're bad at telling stories, but I think you just like don't know how to communicate.
I definitely know how to communicate.
I've never been like, "Oh, she can't tell a story." It's not that you can't tell a story; it's just you don't know when to. You don't. Intro.
Sounds like
you need
you're
better
doing,
intros.
You're doing well.
You need better intros to your stories.
Okay.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
You got to set them up.
All right.
You got to stretch on the pod. You know, you
I
gotta
just
keep
get
the
to
show.
The point too fast.
Well, you go.
Like short,
Well, we're talking about moving, and you go. What about the girl who made the dog eat her pussy?
On a moving job?
Yeah.
So it is related.
But that's like a bombshell. So when you drop a bomb like that,
yeah,
you got to kind of set it up.
All right.
You know,
so
you got
to
be like.
To just I will try to do less spikes of the volleyball.
Does spikes? You spike in the volleyball.
I need to do like
volleys, and then you
yeah,
spike it, and
yeah.
then you set it up, and then you
bump,
spike it.
set, spike.
Yeah.
Got it. If you don't
Yeah.
stop pulling on my headphones.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you're thinking about doing this, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of wires. It's a lot of cords. It's a lot of fucking. Oh, my battery's dead. Oh, this thing's not working. So it's a lot of I don't know. It's show business, and I don't want to complain about it, but it's like your options are to either go through Hollywood, try to get a manager and an agent. I had a conversation today about a possible management opportunity. Somebody that might want to manage my career.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing is torture because you're always waiting for people. You're waiting for other people's decisions,
Yeah.
You're waiting for someone to say, yes, come work.
Yeah.
I like podcasting because you do get a chance to create, stand up. You get to perform. Even if you're at the bottom level of stand up, you get to go do an open mic if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a place to perform. Luckily, it's got to be hard for like writers and stuff like that, but that whole world is like, I haven't dealt with that world. I haven't dealt with the world of show business in like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I might have to deal with it again, I'm kind of like, oh, here we go. Don't get your hopes up. I'm just going to go into the meeting goth, like just wearing goth makeup and dressed from Hot Topic. I was like, who else does this guy represent? And she was, and I was like, does he represent like Times Square Elmo? I thought that was funny.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that you need to stop being so pessimistic. But
you need to just turn that frown upside down.
That's
you
right.
need to have Mike. You need to have a positive attitude, even though for the last 15 years of your life it's been heartbreak after heartbreak.
Yeah, because you
and
walk
disappointment
in
after disappointment.
that
is
your energy
so
introduces
insulting.
you before
That is the most insulting thing you've ever said. Get out of here with that horse shit. You'll be banned from the show if you do that. If you not on my show, honey.
All right, fine.
Anyway, your energy, I know. So what? I have bad. So you're saying that kids in Africa who are like starving to death, they just have like bad energy.
This is like
They're
always
not manifesting
the default
food.
of anyone who
Sure.
hears this.
Sure.
They're like, oh, so the people deserve cancer.
Mhm.
No,
Mhm.
I'm not saying that.
Mhm.
But if you confront every single situation with pessimism,
Mhm.
I don't envision you moving forward in a positive
I agree. I guess
manner.
optimism doesn't really cost anything, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to. I don't know. There's something about
I think your
there's
attitude
something
needs
about
to be aligned with success.
you don't,
That's
but
it.
you don't want to get. But then if you're one of these people who's like, "Hi, how are you, Mike Racine?
No,
Nice to
that's
meet you."
That's excessive. You need to demonstrate virtue in everything that you do, which is the middle ground between excess and deficiency.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's on the
I just
docket?
remember one time my high school had a bunch of people who like we had like this like round table thing, and it was like they wanted all the people who went to the high school to like work in show business to talk to kids.
They're like, I've done community theater as a
No, but that's
understudy
kind of
for
what
the
it was. I
past
mean,
4 years.
it was like
I'm
me.
here to talk to you.
It was like me, and I was like a couple years into comedy like a couple years into New York comedy at that point. It must have been like 2009 or 10.
Okay.
And another girl who was like an actor, and then this other girl who came in with her like headshots, and she was all like done up, and her like her like sample resume that she gives to casting directors.
Right.
And I was like, this girl's insane. This is like a
Yeah.
crazy person. I feel bad for her.
Yeah, when I worked at Caroline's, there was like day events dedicated to just these acting companies taking money from desperate families.
Yeah.
Where they would be like, we'll do your headshots. You're going to be famous in a month as long as you ask everyone in your family for money and then you pay us.
Yeah. Yeah, they would send people like that to high school sometimes. And they would go and they would be like, hey, we'll help you, you pay us like $500.
Yeah.
And then $10 a month, and we'll find you jobs.
Yeah.
And you're like, they're gonna find me jobs, Mom.
They're gonna give
it's
me
a guarantee.
headshots. All they had was like a ring light and a backdrop, like what we have right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's very funny. Anyway, I found out today that one of my family members is anti-vax.
Should you play your song again?
She's gonna die.
I don't know.
Yeah, let me see. Folks, I found out one of my family members is anti-vax. And she's still alive. But let's face it, she's gonna die.
Oh, God.
So R.I.P. Let's call her Aunt
Darlene.
This is a tribute to Aunt Darlene. Sorry that you're gonna die. Should have got the vax. Should have went to CVS. You're not doing much else.
Yeah, doesn't she know all the boomers got the vax?
Yeah. Right, the boomers got the vax. I feel really bad because it's like she is like such a nice person, you know.
Very nice,
Like out of all my all my aunts are nice. My mom is very nice too, very nice lady, surface level nice. She's nice to your face. She's a little fake.
I remember when
She's a little phony.
we were dating and we broke up, and your mom said something to you that was not so encouraging.
What?
It was like, she was like, oh, are you still dating that girl? And you're like, no, we broke up. And she's like, yeah, well, what'd you expect?
I think that was a different relationship. That was college.
No, you told me this.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she might have said that to me twice. What'd you expect? Yeah. Well, good. I like being a pessimist. It's comfortable for me and it's familiar. But anyway, yeah, she's anti-vax. I don't know. She's a nice person. I don't want her. I would like. I don't know. It's none of my business. It's none of my. It's her choice. I'm obviously not going to change her mind. I mean, the thing with these people is like, they're all dying. They're all like all of the all these conservative radio hosts. They're all like dropping dead of COVID.
Yeah.
And the people who have this worldview and this impression of the vaccine are they're this is not like a thing that they are like, I guess I'm anti-vax. This is like this is like their identity and their ideology. Yeah. So I don't know what you do. I don't know if there's any way to change their mind. I mean, you could at least talk to them. I think if maybe more conservative radio hosts named like the Fauci Buster or whatever, or like, I don't know. They're all called like Bobby no jab or something or whatever. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm trying to be funny, but I'm not funny.
You're very funny.
Yeah. So I don't know what to do about that. I mean, I think the best I can do is just send her. There is a lot of evidence of people passing away.
I'd love to see who she would be on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because she is very, very nice in person, and
Yeah.
I've never driven with her, but you've also described the Santa to have extreme road rage.
She has extreme road rage
And I
on
just
steroids.
would wonder what her Facebook would look like. I have a cousin who he said, in today's dose of I'm a liberal moron, and I don't know what's happening here.
Is this the cousin that we were watching the other day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's also anti-vax, but younger and like healthy, so probably won't die. And, which just like affirms.
He'll just give it to somebody.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is like if she does get COVID and because she's probably got some secret like identity on the internet, she's probably like a Q person, like a high ranking QAnon person.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be like, Darlene going to be Darlene, famous for her Reddit threads on vaccinations, passes away. A bunch of people on Twitter are going to be like, "What? Sucks for you, bitch." You know, like there's all these like vindictive, like mean liberals who are just like, "Oh,
it's
yeah,
not a fun group to be
too
a
bad."
part of.
Liberals?
Yeah.
It's the worst. I will never be one.
No.
I am a Trump.
Nonconformist.
I'm a Trump 2024 guy. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, so I don't know what to do. I mean, I guess it's none of my business. I guess I could. I don't know. But you talk to these people and they're so entrenched in their beliefs.
Yeah, I mean, I have a anti-vaxxer who I went to college with, and I still follow her on Instagram. I'm about to unfollow her, but every day she's just like posting about how. What do you mean? There's no side effects to vaccines? People have allergies and skin issues and all these things, but that is like she's saying like anything that's ever wrong with a person can be connected to vaccination. So her young child is not vaccinated against anything,
and he has disease. He has tuberculosis.
Yeah,
he has diseases that weren't around since
I mean, I think that though. I think giving your child, now that we have one, I have a different perspective, because prior to that, I was just like, whatever, just like give them the shot. And now I have a baby, and it's hard to see them get a shot because they're usually like laying there happy, and then some bastard jabs them, and then they go, ah! And it's so sad.
Yeah, they're just like looking up at the ceiling, looking at the yellow paint on the walls. You're like, here you go, and they start screaming.
Yeah, and it feels awful.
Yeah.
And then they're uncomfortable the rest of the day. And I think it would be a lot easier to just be anti-vax, because then I wouldn't have to participate in that hard thing. But what I've learned about being a mom in my short mom career is, like you do things that are hard at first so that things are easier later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like beating your kid.
No.
You hit him so that he doesn't act up again. That's what we do.
If you ever hit my kid, you better move to Mexico.
Yeah. I have hit your dog though.
Yeah, fuck them. I don't know.
I did hit your dog on the street.
Yeah. He knocked your coffee out of your hand.
Well, he jerked the leash, and then he was pulling all day, and then my coffee fell, and that was like a $5 coffee.
Yeah. But really, you're the one that deserves to get hit because you didn't train him on a leash properly.
You didn't either.
Yeah, but you're the guy. Like, you're the man.
I've tried. I don't know. I feel like he's like
tried.
He's like
just walk around with him just
like
with a
he's
loose
like a kid.
wrist and
he's
him
no.
dragging you.
He's like a kid with a drug problem. I tried everything.
What did you try? Did you try drugs?
I tried making the leash tight. I tried yanking back on his neck. I tried,
Did you try
going
drilling?
Slow. No, I don't know. I think I give dogs too much credit. I think I think in my head, I think that he's gonna like click, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, he doesn't want me to do this," when really he doesn't even think about that.
No, I think
at
our
all.
dog thinks it's his job to drag us places. He's like, okay, come along quickly, lots to see.
He thinks he's like the tour guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like dragging our slow asses behind him.
That makes sense.
He got locked in the hallway today, so I feel
Yeah.
we didn't even notice he was gone.
Yeah. Now there's another example of setting up the story a little better.
Okay. Sorry.
You just said he got locked in the hallway, we didn't even know he was gone, and then now I have to be like, what do I do with this?
Oh, sorry.
Do I explain this story?
No, we don't have to. He just got locked in the hallway today, and
He got
took
locked
a while.
out of the apartment, and we didn't realize he was out of the apartment. He was roaming the hallway.
For a while. Anyway.
He was fine. He was going to be fine. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I don't know what else to say about the anti-vax stuff except just I don't know.
I just think
It's
like
weird. What do I do? What do you do?
nothing. You
Yeah,
do nothing
just let her
because
die?
Everything is all like a lie and propaganda. So
Mhm.
you're saying, oh, all of these talk show hosts are dying because they were anti-vax.
Mm-hmm.
But many people who are anti-vax are not going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And many people who got the vaccine will also die.
Right.
So no matter what.
No, I don't think many people who got the vaccine will die. I think it's a much smaller percentage of people who are vaccinated that will die.
Well, what if they're just like already old and already have stuff wrong with them? There's still going to be a statistic.
Yeah. But it's just I guess you shouldn't try to figure it out or understand it, but I don't understand why there's so many people who are like vehemently anti-vax.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't get it, they'll never get it, but it's you never see like any citing of statistics or numbers or anything. It just kind of feels like they're in this little bubble with other people, and they've made up their minds, and they've decided that like COVID is not gonna happen. I don't know if that's a symptom of like our culture and how it could be a symptom of American exceptionalism, where Americans haven't really experienced a lot of the consequences of the shit that we've done over the past few decades, you know?
Right.
It's not like if we murder farmers, if the CIA backs a death squad in Latin America that murders peasants, we're just like, oh yeah, all right, that sucks, you know?
Yeah, but
We don't feel any.
Still going to school, wondering what they're wearing on their first day.
Yeah. So I don't know. So maybe it's like we just feel like we're invincible. I mean, especially boomers. I think especially boomers feel like nothing can hurt them. And then I look at my aunt too, and it's like, yeah, she's a nice person, and clearly like a very hard like a person who's worked very hard her whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if she went to college or not. But I know that my uncle drove a truck. He drove a truck for Tasty Cakes.
Oh?
He was like a Tasty Cake vendor.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think she worked for like Bell Atlantic or something.
They have a pretty good life.
They have a nice life. They have a nice house.
So everything isn't real from their generation, doesn't exist anymore. You couldn't have what they have now.
No.
With their jobs.
And they've never really had to like think very hard or do any like do any major reflection or have any kind of self-awareness. It's just like, yeah, no, that's mine. I get that. I get this. I get to deliver snack cakes and get a pool.
I know.
You know?
People who are delivering snack cakes probably don't have pools anymore.
No, they don't.
No, maybe an
But
above
he was just
ground
high on the hog,
inflated
and he would
one.
come to our house with Tasty Cakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And I would brag at school. I'd be like, my uncle works for Tasty Cake, and he brings us free snacks.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So I don't even know what she did for work. She had like an office job or something.
Mm-hmm.
Darlene, the office worker.
Right.
She was probably
I thought she worked for a museum.
kind of a bitch to her coworkers. She does that now.
Mm.
She's probably yeah. So I don't know.
Anti-vaxxers, though. But it's weird because it's always like anti-vaxxers
Boomers
are all right-wing people.
Mm-hmm.
And the anti-vaxxers are like, it's my choice, it's my body. I don't want to wear a mask or get a vaccine.
Mhm.
But when it comes to abortion, they're like, it's your body and the government's choice, which is weird.
Yeah, I guess they would argue that you're killing a baby.
That's inside your body. But what if it was like, I mean, I guess so.
But
then
this
it's,
new Texas thing, they're not even making exceptions for like rape or incest. Oh,
What
let me
about
just
an
let me just give birth to my uncle.
what about an atopic, like when the pregnancy is like in the wrong place and it could kill you?
I don't know. I guess they just let God run its course.
Oh.
I guess they just submit to the will of the Lord.
And what about if you get all of the expensive DNA tests and it's determined that your baby is
a
unlikely
theater
to
kid. They do
That's
a
what
test to
comedy
find
is.
out
I was about to say something real.
if it's a
and you made
theater
it true.
kid.
Yeah.
Your son is going to be singing Hamilton on the train platform. We think that you should abort it.
Right. But yeah, so like when I was pregnant at 10 weeks, I took a blood test called the NIPT, which is a non-invasive prenatal test, and it tests for a variety of genetic disorders. So what if that test came back saying that my kid was going to either die in utero or a year after birth? I have to go through that? That's awful.
Yeah.
That would really like mess with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, are they just like, that's a part of life, that was God's will?
I don't think they like give a shit because they don't seem to care about the kid after it's born because they don't, like, I mean, this point has been made a million times, but
Right.
they don't seem to care about any kind of, it's just like, I think it's just something for them to hide. I think when you have more people who are like born to teen mothers who were raped, that there's a good chance that person will end up working at Walmart someday.
But I saw a TikTok. On TikTok, you learn all things.
Yeah, you learn a lot of,
Yeah. You guys
Just
should all follow Mike.
It's like being in, follow me on
Follow
TikTok,
Mike on
Racine
TikTok,
Comedy.
where he stars as an abused husband.
Mm-hmm.
To
those are
his,
fun.
Relentless wife.
Those are fun.
He is slowly turning the internet against me.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, on TikTok, I saw somebody say that actually the reason why many people in politics are against abortion is because 60% of aborted babies are Caucasian, and the study found that if they get rid of abortion, then it's less likely that white people will become the minority in the future.
Wow. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know if it's true, but I saw it on TikTok. So it has nothing to do with, like, conception is life.
Yeah.
It's just about white nationalism.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I have to think about this.
You think about that. Are we going to move to our next topic now?
Yeah. But I don't know if a lot of people think in those terms. Like, I don't know if people think about...
You don't think there's people in politics or whatever who are just like, well, this is a disaster?
I don't know if people think about race. What do you think people think about race more or money more? Like, do you think that, I guess, people in power?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know if I think about race that much. And I think about it a good amount. But race doesn't motivate me. It's hard, I guess I'm sure there are people who are like this, but it's hard for me to imagine a person who's like, we got to keep this country white. Because even...
No, I think there's a lot of those.
See, I don't feel like they're a huge percentage of the population.
All right.
I don't feel like they're... I don't know. But I could be totally wrong. I'm not going to say that I know anything. I'm willing to... I could be completely wrong about this. But I don't know if, like, white... There are white nationalists.
Like, white people in charge who are like, we're about to be overrun.
Yes, there are. There are. but I don't know if race is like a motivating factor in all
Alright.
that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't,
know.
but I don't know. Anyway, all right. So this is what I wanted to spend most of the show doing, and I think that so we all remember. We remember a year now. New York City right now is it's a hellhole. It was not a hellhole during COVID. During COVID, March, April, and May, I think those are the happiest months of my entire life in New York City. I had a great early pandemic when people were dying and when there were refrigerator trucks outside Amanda's hospital. I was having a great time personally. I was working out. I was learning calisthenics. I was stretching. I was cooking again. I didn't get a chance to cook in a long time. I actually never went out and did comedy in our last apartment that we lived in.
Mm-hmm. You did some Zoom shows, though.
It was the pandemic the whole time, but I never came back to that apartment late at night after doing shows.
Which probably wouldn't have been that bad because we had the L train on our block.
Yeah.
But I want to say March to June was the hardest time in my life for a while.
Oh, okay.
Because work was so unbelievably not manageable.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went from the expectations of what I did in person to the expectations to be carried over virtually.
Right.
And it was virtually impossible.
Right.
So I was just glued to the computer 12 hours a day, it felt like, and it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
But that summer was the best. So
Yeah.
you say March to June, I say July and August 2020.
Well, this article came out
sweet.
August 17th, 2020, and I want to I want to revisit it because it really did feel like a different world back then. I mean, people were leaving in droves. They were moving to other places. They were
Buying houses sight unseen.
They were buying houses sight unseen. There was this mass exodus, and
Oh wait,
for
does
us,
that mean the exit?
Yeah. Exodus?
Yeah, I had no idea.
It's a book in the Bible.
I am aware of that.
Yeah. Okay. So because they exited Egypt.
I didn't know that was what. I just found out that obligatory meant obligated.
It's really funny because we're both stupid, but in different ways. We're both smart and stupid. So sometimes you'll say something really insightful about medicine or about kids, and then you'll just say something like.
How do you spell?
R-worded, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at spelling.
Michael, how do you spell IKEA? Yeah, just picture it in your head.
No, it's hard words. It's
Anyway.
hard words that I can't spell.
I really want to revisit this article by this guy, James Al Tucker.
I didn't know he was a comedy club owner.
He's a comedy club owner. He owns Stand Up New York.
This guy is always doing shit.
James Al Tucker?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So the owner of the speech company agency I work for is always talking about he loves his podcast or whatever. I guess he used to be some business guru and then he bought Stand Up New York.
Yeah.
So he has a podcast and
he performs, I guess. I don't really know his background.
Okay.
He used to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein.
But he wasn't
No,
the
I'm just
owner
kidding.
when you were
I don't know.
going.
And he does talk about that, so we'll get into that in a second. But it's funny because New York City right now it's falling apart. The subway at night is never running. There's traffic and congestion everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
The weather there's tornado warnings every other day. I mean, it really does feel like something bad is going to happen. Probably another 9/11. But so this guy a year ago writes this article. And the article is called New York City is Dead Forever. I think he self-published this on some kind of blog or something, and then the New York Post picked it up. Obviously, it's a provocative title. But I think a lot of people kind of took this seriously and you know.
And then Jerry Seinfeld is the rebuttal this article?
What do you mean?
Didn't he say it's not dead?
Oh, he might have. I don't know.
But I didn't know if it was about this article. He does go to that club.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Seinfeld said, "This guy's a fucking idiot. New York's not dead.
Yeah.
I have 17 cars." All right. Anyway, so I want to just kind of revisit this and just see how this article holds up.
Yeah.
So it says,
You
What?
lose me. He loses me in the first sentence,
I love NYC.
the
Yeah, I
second
bet you do,
sentence,
buddy.
Really.
When I first moved to NYC, it was a dream come true. Every corner was like a theater production happening right in front of me. So much personality, so many stories.
Okay, so you don't belong here. First of all,
Why?
because you first moved here, so
Mm-hmm.
you're not from here.
Mm-hmm.
You came here expecting it to be.
Although
a
later in the
show.
article, he does say he was born here, which makes me think that
Oh, he
maybe this
does?
guy is just a,
An idiot.
No, I don't want to say it. I was just gonna say.
You don't say
I
anything.
don't mean. I don't know.
But I don't
That
know.
that maybe he's that maybe he's embellishing a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
which is how you make money. I mean, the guy clearly has a lot of money,
Yeah.
so we have to respect him for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't know. I mean, he might have. Anyway, so much personality, so many stories. Every subculture I loved was in NYC. I could play chess all day and night. I could go to comedy clubs. I could start any type of business. This guy came to New York City and said, I could start any kind of business here. When I came here, I was like, can I get a job as like a doorman? So can I you know? I could start any type of business. When did you move here, pal?
I don't want to shit talk,
I don't want to shit talk either.
but I want to shit talk.
Go ahead and shit talk. I'm sure he's, like I said. I mean, the guy's a comic, so I'm sure he's used to.
I mean, he owns this comedy club, but he didn't always own it, and then he came up with this like silly
Somebody
idea.
is going to tell on us, by the
I
way. I'm sure
know.
this will get back to him because comedians are rats and tattletales, which is
But
fine.
he,
I don't
like-
think we're going to say anything that's like off base or out of line or anything.
He thought like he is so disillusioned when it comes to stand-up comedy. He thought it was like people are dying to go to comedy shows. Meanwhile, like comedians are dying to get people to go to comedy shows.
Mhm.
That he thought it was a good business decision to make essentially a season pass to his club.
Oh, did he do that?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Like buy season tickets.
Like it's Movie Pass.
Like it's Yankee seats.
It's just you pay $100 a month to see the same
For a year,
the same
yeah.
abortion joke
Like-
every single night. You're like, this is great. You just get to see, yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway,
I guess he
Now
tried
it's-
to approach comedy clubs like gym memberships.
I didn't even know that he did. Are you sure that he did that?
I'm like 90% sure.
it was this club?
I thought stand up New York, yeah.
All right. But NYC always bounces back. No, not this time. But NYC is the center of the financial universe. Opportunities will flourish here again. Not this time. NYC has experienced worse. No, it hasn't. A Facebook group formed a few weeks ago that was for people who were planning to move and wanted others to talk and ask advice from. Within 2 or 3 days, it had about 10,000 members. Every day I see more and more posts. I've been in NYC forever, but I guess this time I had to say goodbye. I've been screenshotting them from my scrapbook. Now, you are going to see there really is kind of there's a disconnect between people who have that option, people who did have the option to leave, and people who were like, there was, and I guess we could have, I guess if we really wanted to during the pandemic, we could have gone to my mom's house or something, or I don't know. We
I have
could
never in my entire adult life desired to live at my home or
Fine.
anyone else's.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that it wasn't really on the table for us, right, to move out of New York City.
No. I didn't want to. First of all, I was doing my job, and then once my job was over, life was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nobody on the subway. There
It was
no
great.
traffic. I got a bike for the first time in
Biking
New York City
around,
life.
yeah.
I rode my bike everywhere. It was so fun. Then I found out I was pregnant, so I had to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Mike, but I do love
Well,
our
thank
baby.
you for not riding that bike when you were pregnant.
I
Otherwise,
did
we'd
once.
have a little, yeah.
But yeah, it was great. It was a great time. I think is that my phone making that noise?
No, I don't know what it is.
Oh.
I think it's this thing. Anyway, I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, it says Midtown Manhattan, the center of businesses in NYC, is empty. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that a lot.
Amazing.
Even though people can go back to work, famous office buildings like the Time Life skyscraper are still 90% empty. Businesses realize that they don't need their employees at the office. Okay, well, as we're seeing right now, that changed pretty quickly with all these articles about, like, wow, let's get back into the office, you know? So that wasn't a permanent thing. In fact, they realized they're even more productive with everyone back to the office. The Time Life building can handle 8,000 workers. Now it maybe has 500 workers back. What do you mean, a friend of mine said to me when I told him Midtown should be called Ghost Town? I'm in my office right now. What are you doing there, I asked. Packing up, he said and laughed. I'm shutting it down. He works in the entertainment business.
Well, I brought Benjamin to 30 Rock, and I was in a lot of traffic on my way there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was lots of people traffic when I finally did arrive.
Yeah.
So...
Now, this is interesting. One friend of mine, Derek Halpern, was convinced he'd stay. He put up a Facebook post the other day saying he might be changing his mind. Derek wrote, "In the last week, I watched a homeless person lose his mind and start attacking random pedestrians, including spitting on, throwing stuff at, and swatting." Yeah, like,
they do
what?
That all the time.
They do that all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen several single parents with a child asking for money or food, and then when someone gave them food, toss the food right back at them. Good. You know what? I'm out here with my kid. I'm out here with my kid asking for money and food. You're going to give me this fucking piece of this sandwich from fucking Aubon Pan? Suck my dick. Go. I want Chipotle.
Actually, I do really feel passionate about that because I have twice, I think, given my Starbucks to a homeless person who's asked, and they hated it and threw it away immediately. It happened to me twice.
Yeah, look. I'm not saying I like the homeless or anything. I'm not saying the homeless are good people. I'm just saying, like, this is a weird thing that rich people complain about, where they go like, I saw a homeless Caitlyn Jenner was doing that when she was running for governor. She's like, everyone's tired of seeing the homeless. It's like they think that that's a valid concern to be like, I saw a homeless person spit on somebody. It's like, we all get spit on by a homeless person. We all get screamed at or yell or you know, like, like some homeless guy. I don't think he was homeless, but he was definitely mentally ill. He told me I have a big nose the other day, and I was like, I'm like, I don't really have a big nose. I don't really have a big nose, but I was like on the I get on the train, and like the people coming off the train were like, "Oh, we're glad to be off that train." And then, or like this lady was coming back, and she was like, "Get me out of that train car." And I walk in, and there's a guy inside the train car. And he's like, "Yeah, that's right. Fuck your mother." And then he said a slur. So there was enough time. I got out of that train car. I went to the next train car.
Yeah.
And I'm riding the train, and then he walks through he walks through the car.
Like
and
the
he's
guy
like looking
Ghost.
around. Yeah.
Like the ghost in Ghost.
And he's like looking around. He's like, "Is that Jerry?" "Oh no, that's not Jerry. Same big nose." And he keeps walking. Like he wasn't like completely crazy, but I was like, all right, well, and I was the only person that he yelled at, by the way. Anyway, this is the kind of shit that happens. I don't understand why you think that like a homeless person is supposed to take your half-eaten just salad, your half-eaten kale salad, and be like, "Oh, thank you, sire." Yes, I would. Okay, if it wasn't okay, throw it back at them and get me Chipotle. I want a fucking steak burrito bowl.
Right.
You know.
But what if you know how
I bought a guy? By the way, I bought a homeless guy Chipotle a couple months ago.
Did you go in and order it for them?
I sure did. I said, "What do you want?" He said, "How about it?" I go, "How about a chicken burrito?" He goes, "Yeah, that'd be good, thanks." Got him a chicken burrito, everything on it. Took his order. You can do that. If
Does he want everything on it?
I don't know. Fuck him if he doesn't. No, he was like really appreciative. But I wasn't like, a hero about it. I was like, here you go.
Right.
Have a good,
You are telling all of your
Anyway, this is what they're complaining about.
But I have a thought. Yeah. What if, you know how like baristas at Starbucks, like it became a thing where they purposely said everyone's names weird, like Potato for Mateo and Stove for Steve. Right? What if homeless people are like, yeah, and you know what we do? We ask people for food, and then we throw it in there, we throw it out. That's what we do. It's like what they collectively decided to do amongst.
That would be funny if that person went to like the Capitol Grill or something, and they had like a steak, and he was just like he just like wore it as a hat. He just like threw the steak away and like started eating the styrofoam. Anyway, I just think this is crazy. Like, and then I watched the man yell racist slurs at every single race of people while charging / then stopping before going too far.
Well, that was nice
Okay.
that he got everyone included.
While charging, then stopping before going to. So he was just going like, "Yeah, you fucking wop!" And
They're
then
just
like,
labeling
backing off. Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe you should be impressed that he can identify everybody's race. Maybe he should work for the FBI or something. Anyway, yeah. My favorite park is Madison Square Park. About a month ago, a 19-year-old girl was shot and killed across the street. Anyway, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry. The homeless are in NYC. I mean,
Well, it's nice.
when is this? When has that been different though? When has that not been a thing?
No, people get shot all the time.
People get
What
shot all the
makes
time.
New York City cool.
You might get shot. Yeah.
you could get shot. I think Madison
Every
Square
day
Park
I
is
step into a moving truck. I'm like, this. I could
get
fall.
shot.
I mean, I don't know. No, I don't think I really don't think I'm gonna get shot. But it's just like this is the reality that you people deal with. What about Afghanistan, where people go to bed and they're
Definitely
like,
could
"Oh, I
get
might
shot.
get blown up by a drone."
Yeah.
Because they're,
Mhm.
Anyway.
Also, though, I like Madison Square Park because we got engaged there. You proposed to me there.
Yes.
It's the only reason why I like Madison Square Park. Like,
Yeah.
how is that your favorite park?
I don't know.
That is like, there's nothing there
There's
except
not
the Shake
much
Shack.
there. If you live close by, I guess it's probably good. Many people left temporarily, but there were also
It's not a
people
good
leaving
park.
permanently. Friends of mine moved to Nashville, Miami, Austin, Denver, Salt Lake City, Dallas. They all moved to COVID hotspots.
And everyone who
They
moved to
literally-
Austin is fucking bored.
Yeah, no, literally everyone who moved to Austin hates it.
They hate it. Yeah. One time, I didn't know it was a bit, but he started doing it on stage. But
Look at this. Although I'm
Okay.
temporarily, although maybe
I won't
permanently
finish
in
that.
South Florida now. I got my place sight unseen. Yeah.
so Bill Burr was like a New York comic for a long time, and then one of the waiters at Caroline's was like, "Oh, how do you like California?" And he's like, "It's fine. I mean, you can't get a beer and a slice at 4 a.m., but other than that, it's okay."
Yeah.
And that is what people are used to being here. And when you remove that
Yeah.
element and you put somebody somewhere else, I mean, California, I'm sure, has like other things that are cool, but when you go to something more rural than that, it's probably difficult to function there.
Yeah. It did kind of suck when the bars were closed. It was just kind of like there was a point, I think maybe I want to say around September, or maybe it was the summer, where it was like, okay, what is this? The bar closes at fucking 10 o'clock. Like what is this? Sucks. The only kind of you deal with a lot of shit living in New York,
They all
but
closed at like 10 because I think if they stayed open too long, they
There'd
didn't
be
trust that people
would be
talk.
would
Everyone would be friends by it.
people would be making out.
Yeah.
Cuomo was like, "We have to stop people from making out with each other.
I have a lot of experience in this area.
Look, if I don't get to kiss girls, you shouldn't either." That was the whole thing. Look, it's not fair. I reassigned a state trooper 4 times.
Yeah.
I never got to kiss her. So, New Yorkers, I'm starting a rule right now: no kissing, no kissy from the governor. Anyway, we are going to finish this discussion on Patreon.
Oh.
We're gonna go on. So go if you want, because it's a long article. He talks about comedy. He talks about commercial real estate. He talks about colleges. So if you want to hear the rest of this conversation, patreon.com/sitdownpod, $5 a month. We do a show over there 5 days a week. Deb doesn't want to do a show over there, so maybe we will go down to one day a week.
I think it's going to be 1 day a week. We're going to record it on Sunday. I won't always be there, but...
Look at this, though. NYC has a $9 billion deficit, $1 billion more than the mayor thought it was going to have. How does the city pay back its debts? There's literally people... There's $1 trillion of people who live here.
There is
Cough
a
it up.
ticket for everything. We sat in our car today for 15 minutes waiting to avoid a parking ticket.
Yeah.
The Department of Treasury is doing fine. They've got
No,
tons
but
of
no,
cars.
but I'm also saying but there's people who are worth
Towed.
collectively $1 trillion.
Yeah.
How does it pay back its debt? Are you fucking?
Well-
Come on, man.
Wait, so the richest people in Brooklyn.
James Altucker, I'm gonna fight you.
The richest people in Brooklyn, they live in Brooklyn Heights, right?
Just kidding. I'm sure he's a very nice guy.
I'm sure.
I'm sure he's a great business mind.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is just
The richest people.
Not
in
everybody
Brooklyn,
can
they
be
live in Brooklyn
everything.
Heights, right?
you know. So I'm
Mhm.
not trying to trash anybody.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said twice?
The richest people live in Brooklyn Heights.
Is that right? That's right.
No, but I'm saying there's billionaires that
No,
live here.
this is my point.
Yeah.
Is that right? That's right. That's the richest neighborhood. Brooklyn Heights, right?
I guess, yeah.
They all remember for a long time they all had those signs in the windows.
That was like, don't expand the BQE.
Is that what's happening right now?
I think so. I think we won. I think we're going to give all their kids birth defects to put another lane on the BQE. So, little victory for the little guy, baby. Now I can fucking drive my car on the BQE
Yeah, but
and
now,
get home a
but
little
not-
faster
but
to my
not
beautiful
yet
family.
because there's only one lane open. In the
Right
meantime.
now, there's only one lane open, but in 8 to 14 months, it's gonna be awesome. Anyway, we're gonna continue this conversation on Patreon, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.